Hi, I'm Mrs. Mason. Welcome to day 15 of growing alligators. The alligators have been left alone for a couple of days over the weekend, and I'm excited to find out today if there have been any changes. So grab your science notebook and let's make some observations. The third grade gators are continuing to grow. They are a light green color. All of them are almost the same size. Here's the one in the distilled, just so you can get some general observations. And this is the newest gator that we put in the water last week, just to have kind of a repeated test. So looking at the data, the original gator today is measuring 10.2 grams and 10.1 centimeters. And the gator in the distilled water is still growing. It's measuring 11.7 grams and 10.5 centimeters. The brand new gator that I started last week is continuing to grow. It almost doubled in size over the weekend. So today it's at 11 grams and measuring 10.5 centimeters. For the gators that were in the saltwater, we took them out last week and they're continuing to shrink. They both have that white kind of salty film on them. And I noticed today, I dumped out the water, but last week there was a lot of extra salt left in the bottom of the tray. So the water is gone, but this was kind of some of the salt that had sunk to the bottom because the salt water was so saturated, not all of it was able to dissolve. For our measurements, you can see the gator that was in the 45 grams of salt is still shrinking. It is 2.5 grams, which is 6.5 centimeters. And the gator that was in the 90 grams of salt water is still the same size. It is 2.4 grams and 6.5 centimeters. For our 5th grade gators, the one that was in the hydrogen peroxide shrank quite a bit. It's still a light green color. And the gator that was in the vinegar is still a light green color, but it is really small now. For the 5th grade data, on the table I drew a line to show where I took them out of the liquid, the ones that was in the hydrogen peroxide and the vinegar. This one is still continuing to grow, so we're monitoring that to see how our data turns up. Today, the hydrogen peroxide gator was only 4.7 grams, so it lost a lot of volume and mass over the weekend. The one in the vinegar is almost back to its original size. It is 1.9 grams, which is where our control started. The gator that's in the tap water, the original one that we started the very first day, today it was measuring 10.2 grams. For our length, the gator in the hydrogen peroxide shrank to 8.3 centimeters. The one in the vinegar is down to 6.4 centimeters. The control is still the same, of course, and the gator that was in the tap water is down to 10.1 centimeters. So I'm really glad we started the extra gator in the tap water because it's giving us some more reliable information. When we thought the gator in the tap water wasn't growing, it just needed a little kickstart. When I changed the water, the data started to change. So the second gator is really backing up the information so that we can draw some actual conclusions. What we thought the data was telling us is that the distilled water was causing the gator to grow faster, when actually that wasn't true at all. So take a look at the patterns in your data for 3rd grade and 4th grade and 5th grade and see if you can determine what kind of liquid causes the gator to grow the most.